Hello and welcome to Monday morning. If it's a Monday morning, it's not Meet the Press. It's Monday morning, Mourning.
Right.
I'm Katie Halper.
And I'm
This
Matt
is
Taibbi.
Matt Taibbi. What does your mug say, Matt?
It's just says M.
For Monday morning?
No, for anything beginning with M. I assume mainly it's for Matt.
Right.
It's a Scrabble mug. It's got all the scores for each of the letters in the back. Letter distribution.
Was this a gift?
I don't know.
You just found it?
Yeah, exactly. So.
But you didn't buy it, or else you'd know the backstory.
No, I wouldn't. That assumes I'd remember it.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
You bought it during
I'm getting
a binge.
old.
Oh, the other memory loss thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the other memory loss thing.
The less fun one, the aging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the thing where I can't remember the basics of what I did even 5 minutes ago. Where are we now? What are we doing?
Unclear. What day is it?
Today's Monday, so we're talking about the Sunday news shows, and again, tons of reconciliation stuff. You want to get some of that?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
How come I can't see the comments?
I don't know. Mash the like. That's true. Everyone should be liking this. If you don't like this, you're letting Pod Save America win. Okay, guys? Why is my camera always so blurry? Got to work that out. Taibbi, people are saying nice job on Mar.
Yeah.
We should have him on. We got to drag him.
Yeah,
get him here.
I don't know.
You didn't feel so good about it?
I didn't feel so good about it. No. I was unprepared for one of the questions, so but that's okay. We can have plenty of time to talk about that.
Your eyebrows were intense.
They were?
Yeah. Next time, send me a shot. Send me a thing and say that your work wife needs to approve of your makeup.
What was intense about my eyebrows?
They were just really, really, really black.
Huh.
You looked huge too. Not huge like just like strapping huge. It was, maybe it was because you were next to I don't know why, but
right.
You look like some kind of athlete. Yeah.
Well, there's not a whole lot I can do about
yeah, but good job. No, that's good. I was complimenting you. Probably problematic. Woke button. Objectifying.
No,
I mean, I didn't notice anything. I just heard what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, look, that show's tough.
Sorry.
Was Bill stumbling worse than what we saw in the edit? I don't know how much they edited it, frankly. He didn't really I mean, look, we had one kind of semi-contentious exchange in the middle, and there was a little bit of tripping up, probably more by me, I would say, during that period. So I don't remember him stumbling terribly much. So anyway, do you want to get to
what we're here for?
Yeah, what we're here
sure.
for.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's see. What's our first? Yeah, we're going to start like we often do with MTP, Meet the Press. Just do a little overview of what Chuck Todd said.
Okay.
Morning. Well, at least Congress made sure the government didn't shut down. But that's not all that didn't happen this past week. Democrats with slim majorities and big differences of opinion did not manage to pass either of their two big priorities. Moderate Democrats wanted to pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill and keep negotiating on the progressives' larger social spending wish list. That didn't happen. Progressive Democrats wanted more certainty on that social spending bill before voting for the infrastructure bill. And that didn't happen. Here's what did happen. President Biden traveled to Capitol Hill, told both sides their two priorities are now linked, which is just what progressives wanted to hear, and that the infrastructure bill will have to wait for an agreement on the larger social spending bill. Mr. Biden's decision left moderates feeling betrayed and progressives feeling emboldened because their Stay Strong approach had been validated at the highest level. It may still take weeks to get this done. The gamble now for Democrats is by delaying a sure thing that everyone wants, that bipartisan infrastructure bill. They risk getting nothing and having nothing to offer voters next year.
It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done.
President Biden putting his popular bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure bill on hold after a rebellion by progressives.
Everyone wants these roads and bridges, but people aren't going to remember a road the way they will remember if they wake up in the morning and they now have childcare so they can go back to work.
We need a vote. We need to be real. Are we going to deliver universal pre-K to this country or not?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had promised to call a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill on Monday.
Bring the bill before tomorrow for consideration.
Then again on Thursday. But put it off on Friday for a third time without the votes to pass it.
Speaker Pelosi, will there be a vote today?
When we have the votes.
The decision was a blow to the party's moderate wing.
Is this a setback for the president's agenda and the Democratic agenda?
If we get it done, it'll be a victory. The question is, when do we get that victory?
New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer, a moderate, criticized Pelosi, saying she breached her firm public commitment to bring the bill up for a vote in September and lashed out at a small far-left faction of the House.
Everybody's frustrated. It's part of being in government.
The president told House Democrats in a closed-door meeting on Capitol Hill to lower the price tag to between $1.9 and $2.3 trillion, closer to what West Virginia Senator Manchin is demanding.
My top line has been 1.5 because I believe in my heart that what we can do and what the needs we have right now and what we can afford to do without basically changing our whole society to an entitlement mentality.
Arizona's Kirsten Sinema, another wild card, has privately said she will not support corporate or income tax rate increases. On Saturday, she called the two-track process an ineffective stunt.
We could bring the moderates and progressives together very easy if we had 2 more votes. 2.
Progressives say even a smaller bill must address their priorities: housing, climate change, child care, elder care, and paid family leave, immigration, and a Medicare expansion.
We need to have a way to verify that whatever we agree to does not get delayed and does not get changed.
Okay.
So we get it, right?
We get it, yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting how he said, like, moderates are betrayed.
Yeah, well,
And-
I mean, he sets it up as, why are we forfeiting something that everybody wants, and
Yeah.
for a chance at something that a few people want.
Right.
So that's going to be the framing.
Yeah, which is it's so. I mean, it's so. It's funny. I guess it's not funny. It's predictable how much that's framing is. He just takes that framing as if it's not framing, as if it's just reality, which is what they always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't buy it. I still think the whole thing, in the end, they're going to end up with less than Manchin's bill, and all of this is just a dog and pony show. I think.
For whom? Like, who's running the dog and pony show?
I just don't believe that they're going to go for 2 years of free community college and childcare, pre-K, schooling. I don't believe any of that stuff is actually going to get passed.
Yeah.
They're just, I think, I'm actually not sure what the deal is. Why they have put this off. It would make more sense during a midterm, but why they've put it off now until later doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What's your theory on it?
I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously, I think you know who is sincere.
Oh, Pelosi or Manchin or
Saint
Sinema?
Bernard.
Oh, that he's sincere. Yeah. No, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, he's fighting for it, obviously, as are some of the progressives. But so you think it's just theater? I mean, what I think maybe is theater, and we talked about this, is Manchin and what do you think? How much do you think Biden is actually pressuring Manchin and Sinema? I mean, he doesn't name them; he says 2.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows what he's talking about, who he's talking about. So
yeah, of course. But it's an interesting. I mean,
if Biden were still in the Senate, would he be voting for a $3.5 trillion? No way.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is the same person who spent all of last year's campaign cycle talking about how or not, maybe not talking about it, but leaking to campaign reporters about how irresponsible.
The guy who beat the socialists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, right. and about how free college was irresponsible to offer, and all, So.
Yeah. No, he would not be voting for it if he were still in the Senate. That's true. So the question is, I had Sirota on my show the other day, and the question is, of course, are Manchin and Sinema just functioning so that Biden can then say, look, we wanted it. I wanted this. We tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't do it, so yeah.
What did David say about that?
Maybe. He said maybe. He's like, there is a theory, a school of thought that this is just so Biden can say, he tried, but because he pointed out that he hasn't really he's only said positive things about Sinema. Like he praised her for some drug vote that she, of course, then changed for some drug company vote, prescription drugs vote or position, I guess, that she then reversed. And yeah, he it was very interesting. He said that, that Sinema is like a good educational moment, though, because she exposes everything that's wrong with the political system.
Sinema does?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Well, just how, she's a Democrat who openly is prioritizing donors over constituents. I guess it's a little bit more overtly, I guess. I mean, I think that what this theater, as you call it, does demonstrate certain, if you want to continue that metaphor, certain roles in a way that's usually more behind the scenes, perhaps.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sinema was involved with.
Oh my gosh,
some interesting.
Amazing.
Well, can we go back? Can we go back to that thing? Can we skip to that?
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, didn't she hurt her foot? You could see allegedly. You could see her limping.
She's been limping. I don't know what is that? Is that a thing we can talk about, or is that some?
Is that ableist?
Yeah. She
no,
always
I think
limped,
it's fair.
or?
No. No. It's not a permanent thing. This is an injury. Maybe it's from when that dance move when she gave the thumbs down to minimum wage. I wonder if that was it. She had to throw her. She really had to.
It's all that twisting that she's doing to make her positions align with those of her donors, I guess.
Right. Exactly.
She sprained an ankle.
Yeah, she sprained an ankle. Let's see. Yeah. Can we actually go to so we have a tweet, Wilson, we can first, before we show my tweet about it, we can go to that tweet, but show the video it's in response to. Does that make sense?
Let's show the video.
Oops. Sorry. I don't know how to turn off my FaceTime. Fans, let us know.
All right. Well, let's see that video with,
yeah.
Okay, well, to set it up.
Let's set it. Okay. This is great. So this is okay, we can read the tweet. Let's see. Breaking Blanca, an Arizona immigrant youth, confronts Senator Sinema inside her classroom where she teaches at ASU, Arizona State University. In 2010, both my grandparents got deported because of SB 1070. My grandfather passed away 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't able to go to Mexico because there's no pathway to citizenship. So let's watch that clip. And for people who are maybe just listening or washing their hands right now or something, can't see, we'll narrate it as it happens. Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll be back.
Can we do full screen?
So then we want to talk to you real quick. Hi, actually, I am heading out.
But right now is a real moment that our people need in order for us to be able to talk about what's really happening. We need a Build Back Better
now
plan
she ducks into the bathroom, thinking probably that they'll stop tailing her.
We need solutions.
But no, they follow her into the bathroom.
Has the solutions that we need.
We knocked on doors for you to get you elected, and just how we got you elected, we can get you out of office if you don't support what you promised us.
We need 7 million citizenship for 7 million. We need the Build Back Better plan.
Is that a guy?
I think it may be a guy.
My name is Blanca. I was brought here to the United States when I was 3 years old. And in 2010, my grandparents both got deported because of SB 1070. And I'm here because I definitely believe that we need a pathway to citizenship. My grandfather passed away 2 weeks ago, and I was not able to go to Mexico and visit him because there is no pathway to citizenship. And if we have the opportunity to pass it right now, then we need to do it, because there's millions of undocumented people just like me who share the same story or even worse things that happen to them because of SB 1070 and because of anti-immigrant legislation. And this is the opportunity to pass it right now, and we need to hold you accountable to what you told us, what you promised us that you were going to pass when we knocked on doors for you.
There was, I don't think so. Well, let's listen. Let's see if there's a flush. There we go. Okay, hold on.
I'm a survivor of human trafficking, and it's because of the lack of worker protections that we don't have in the gig economy. I need you to stand by workers. Lots of people who are like me, who became homeless and
so how long was she? First of all, I kind of feel bad for the the last person talking to her about being homeless and being trafficked, and she doesn't get any love from whoever's taking the videotape. But that's a pretty dramatic story. I mean, so is having a grandfather die and not being able to visit him. But I'm going to say being trafficked is more high stakes than that. Condolences to the woman who lost her grandfather. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting filming choice. We should count. How long was Cinema in the bathroom?
Well, about a minute, looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe a minute 20, something like that. Why?
No, I was just trying to figure out what what movement it was. Whether
that's got to be a number one.
A number one, right? Yeah, probably. I mean, she probably
faked
it.
There were no plunkings either.
Right, there were no plunkings. Right. I love how yeah, because she's so full of it. But I love how the people coming in and out of the stalls are totally like unfazed by it.
Yeah.
We live in I guess a reality TV, social media era.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think politicians deserve or have an expectation of privacy anywhere, but
right. It could have been a bowl cam.
That's a little on the edge of.
I mean, they didn't go into the stall.
They didn't go into the stall, no, but yeah. Anyway, so you got into a thing with
yeah. If you could just go back to the tweet. I just think this is a kind of maybe it wasn't Sunday morning show, but it had some. Okay, so if we scroll to this, so this guy named Matt Whitlock decided to tweet about this. Congratulations, you just did incredible damage to your cause, which a lot of some people were saying. But if you click on Matt Whitlock's name, or you can just hover over it. He's a Republican communicator, former NRSC Senator Orrin Hatch comms, deputy COS corporate comms, Bay Area born and raised, BYU grad, tweets are my own. So that's Brigham Young University. Probably not a raging liberal, which we already know from his resume. But I just thought
because you went to BYU.
Yeah, I guess there are people who aren't. Isn't that a pretty conservative school or no?
I don't know that you can necessarily.
All right.
Because someone's a Mormon that they're.
No, it's not because they're a Mormon. I just think isn't that a conservative school that happens to be Mormon or no?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, that's not an official useful idiots statement then.
Yeah.
So I just think it's funny because if there's one thing, this guy works in messaging, in comms, right? And he worked for the Senate Republicans. I do think it's funny that he's telling people, he's like chiding people about damaging their cause. And I wonder if like Kristen Sinema likes having a Republican kind of coming to her defense. I just think it's a kind of meta ironic moment.
Yeah. What ends up being the worst look for Sinema? The someone following her and filming her in the stall, or the ex Orrin Hatch comms guy defending her.
Yeah, and Amanda Carpenter also was defending her. So yeah another Republican.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people make again, Kristen Sinema is not getting elected in Arizona if she's actually like a liberal Democrat. So it's
But she doesn't have to vote against this stuff, right?
no, but even if she abstains, then she's, that doesn't do the job either. So,
But I'm saying she could vote for it.
well, she wouldn't though. That's the whole point. Like, nobody from, I just don't think somebody like.
Excuse me. Sorry about this. I have a cold. I mean, I just think it's a mistake to think that they can't. I think they won't. But it's not like they're political. I mean, Josh Gottheimer's in New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would be finished. He's just terrible. Shill, who went after you, Matt. So
yeah.
So we don't like him for that reason.
But that's because he's taking, like the tri-state area is just flush with financial services industry money. I mean, that's just a reality of the situation. Yeah. But Arizona's big Tea Party country. Same thing with West Virginia. Spending is a big deal to certain parts of the population. So and beyond that, and it's all irrelevant to me because I just don't think the party really wants the 3.5 trillion. So we're going in circles about this. But I do like the is this a new genre? Sort of journalism in the internet age of politicians in the bathroom. Are there more of those? Can someone put together a compilation?
Yeah, a mashup. Yeah, we did egging last week, right? We should do this this week. Yeah, I mean, she did run as a progressive though. Someone put an also related note: $15 an hour pass in Florida. Voting against it isn't some moderate position; it's per corporate conservatism. And what did she ran for Senate as a progressive? We should look back at her. We should look. We'll do it. We'll do something else on this at some point. For this on this show we'll do a little report on her record for this week's show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just find this whole thing confusing because it feels like everybody in the news media is acting like the 3.5 trillion is exactly where is the obviously right call, and yet these are the same people who were pedal to the metal against that kind of thinking during the campaign cycle last time. Right. So what's going on? Like I'm not really sure I understand. Like if you were actually for it, you'd be a would have been a Bernie supporter during 2020, and like almost none of those people were
Sorry, you're talking about the politicians or the media people?
Both. Like this whole idea that the whole idea, if you were to ask the entire Democratic senatorial caucus last year publicly which candidate they supported in the presidential primary, what percentage of them do you think would have said Biden over Sanders?
High percentage.
Right? 75, 80,
Yeah.
So the notion that all of these people, that 48 out of the 50 members are suddenly going to endorse the policy like a very Bernie friendly policy.
Yeah, Sandersian.
Yeah, exactly. And not the other thing. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. There's something about it that I find strange though. So
it doesn't sit right.
So so the coverage of that. So we saw what Tuck Chad said. The take on it was slightly different on Fox yesterday. So should we take a look at that?
We can watch that. Yeah, and we can scroll
at the White House with the latest on the effort to find a compromise. David.
Hi, Chris. As a U.S. Senator, Joe Biden spent almost 40 years on Capitol Hill compromising. Finding a compromise in this Congress will be tough, but he's not giving up.
There's nothing in any of these pieces of legislation that's
Hang on, can we stop
radical,
for a
that
second?
is unreasonable.
I mean, how scrotum-like is that thing hanging from his ear?
Wait, we
right?
gotta go back. Hold on. How scrotum like?
Be tough, but he's not
The
giving up.
mask hanging from the ear.
There's nothing in any of these pieces.
Scrotal? On a scale from 1 to scrotum, or how many scrotums? How would we rate this?
I'd say that's an 8.
An 8? Okay.
I mean, it looks like something.
Oh, you mean it looks like a bikini? It looks like a Speedo?
Yeah, it looks like something like a leather ball bag, like that a stripper would wear, like in a Chippendales act.
Right. So basically, you're submitting. What you're submitting is that there's a penis coming out of Biden's jaw.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just feeling like, yeah, I guess
That's what you feel. It feels like there's a jaw penis.
something like that. I'm just feeling like there are nuts in that bag, in that mask, but whatever.
Are there nuts in that mask, or are you just happy to see me?
Anyway,
there's nothing in any of these pieces of legislation. That's code word for balls. Pieces of legislation.
Right. Yeah. Would you like to see my pieces of legislation?
Right here. I got your pieces of legislation right here.
And there's another funny scene that happens in just a second in a moment. So let's watch that.
Pieces of legislation that's radical, that is unreasonable.
Before leaving for a weekend in Delaware, a confident President Biden said he'll take his time, pushing both items on his wish list.
Back. He is clearly walking not in the direction of the helicopter.
Items on his wish
that
list,
shot.
but telling progressives
we gotta go back.
they must come off their $3.5 trillion. President Biden said he'll take his time, pushing both items
go back to the ball sack thing.
In any of these pieces.
Compromise in this Congress will be tough, but he's not giving up.
There's nothing in any of these pieces of legislation that's radical, that is unreasonable.
Before leaving for a weekend in Delaware, a confident President Biden said he'll take his time, pushing both.
Stop. He's walking away from the helicopter, isn't he? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I muted to blow the nose. He's at least considering it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Or either that he's distracted. I guess theoretically he could be reading something.
Right.
But in no way is he walking towards the steps leading into an Air Force One there, or Marine One. I'm sorry. Right?
I mean, I don't mean to be a party pooper. I feel like he almost doesn't go there, and then at the end he goes there. You don't think so? You know, I want more than anything to show that to say that he's totally not walking onto that plane.
I think he's still walking. I think he never got onto that helicopter.
Yeah, it's true. It could be. Did you see, by the way, the headline? I forget if it was in Politico. Someone can put in the comments that he went to a graveyard. Did you see this?
No.
Oh my God. They were like, hold on.
Maybe he's hanging left. Yes, could be.
Where is this? Okay, I'll look for it later. Or maybe yeah, someone can find it watching. I didn't plan on this because it's not a Sunday morning show, but there was some ridiculous headline that it's like as his infrastructure bill is on its last legs or something ridiculous where they compared it. They like read into the fact that he was at a cemetery.
Oh. Well, come on, you got to give news writers like they got to spice things up. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a tough job.
He heard the ice cream truck. Someone said, Matt Farr says he heard the ice cream truck.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, ice cream.
Corn Pop was on that chopper.
Are you not thinking forward to Corn Pop was on that chopper waiting with a switchblade.
Biden saw him and took evasive maneuvers.
Yeah. So again, even Fox, and this is part of what makes me suspicious about the whole thing. Even Fox is like playing up the quotes from Biden, suggesting that he desperately wants the $3.5 trillion version. There's nothing in there that's radical. Of course, they're going to try to sell it, that it is radical.
Right.
I just don't buy it. But anyway, we're relatively in sync with the Fox and Meet the Press versions of reality, which always makes me a little bit nervous. But yeah, so that happened.
Someone said in the comments, let's see how mobile you are at 78 years old. Lol. That's not. I know a lot of 78-year-olds who are totally mobile.
It's not about mobility. It's about direction.
Right. Yeah. You should have said, let's see how directional you are.
I think actually Biden is pretty spry for his age.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Except when he kept falling down the stairs trying to get onto the plane. Remember that?
Oh, God. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Hey, that's not fair. Someone said Matt likes penis jokes. I like a penis joke as much as if we looked at the ratio of penis jokes.
Yeah, I think I'm behind on this one.
Well, I'm definitely penis news focused.
Mm-hmm.
You may do the jokes. We may both. I think we both do, but yeah.
Well, everybody likes penis jokes.
I think so. In fact, I feel like if you don't like them, I can't really be friends with you.
I think like all kids think farts are funny, right?
Yeah.
Farts are funny.
They can be funny, yeah.
When are they not funny?
I guess you're right. I guess
they're pretty much always funny, right? It's unless you're a person who's audibly farted and in a serious adult situation, then it's not. It's like very not funny for you when that happens, right? Like
then
Chris
it's
Matthews.
Triggering. Oh my God! Yeah,
Fartgate. But pretty much every other time farts are funny. But then for kids, like they're just unbelievably there's nothing.
Yeah.
But then it becomes like a transition, like to when you're older. I think penis jokes take over.
Right.
The primacy. Right.
Yeah. Someone said when you cannot escape farts, the victims of the fart is not amused. Farts are always funny unless it was you.
Yeah, unless it was
Silent
you.
But deadly, no thanks.
I think even like even when it's like momentarily like deeply unpleasant, it ends up being funny.
In retrospect.
Yeah. Well, or almost immediately.
Almost immediately, yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Penis farts would rule the world.
My son says pillows help me not smell farts.
That's good.
Yeah, I thought that was a good line. All right, so that happened. All right.
So that happened. Oh, and then if we can just go forward a little bit in that clip, I just want to show. Let's see, where's that clip?
Before leaving for a weekend in Delaware.
Why is there such a lag? Okay, let me hold on 1 second. Let me just show you what we got. We got a little. All right, let's see. We got some Gottheimer, and then let's just hold on.
But centrists like Gottheimer are focused on the infrastructure bill, and they have support from Republicans.
That is what's wrong with Washington, D.C. We don't put the needs of the American people first. We put some other agenda, and nothing ever happens.
So it wouldn't be a Sunday morning show without Bill Cassidy, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
He's just omnipresent. And I thought it was interesting that they actually pointed out two things. One is I think it's interesting that Fox calls him a centrist, not a moderate, which is closer to accurate, except they're not in the center, but they are. Moderate implies some kind of, I feel like,
I think
prudent judgment.
Okay. Yeah.
I would call them conservative, obviously. When I say obviously, I mean, if you know me, it's not surprising that I would call them conservative. But they're not, as Thomas Frank pointed out and Bill Maher, Clinton is not where the center was.
Well, but everybody gets the center wrong on almost every issue. Like, if you want to look at issues like gun control or universal health care, the vast majority of people are I was killed by a fart. Tragic. Is that a message from beyond the grave?
Maybe. I guess so.
Fox News guy looks like Eddie Munster.
That's
He does.
true, yeah.
No, you mean Bill Cassidy? Or
No, I think he meant
Spunt?
that guy. Spunt is his name?
Spunt.
That's funny.
That's a great name for a TV reporter.
Yeah.
Is it Carl Spunt?
What is that?
Investigations, Chris, are ongoing until this comes to a vote. Meanwhile, there's another.
He does look like a monster, though.
I think
we should
David
start
Spunt.
adding fart sounds to the Sunday morning show interview. That would be good. We did such a great thing with Fartgate.
David Spunt.
I pledged a farternity. Yeah. Anyway. So there's that, and then I'm sorry I cut you off because I started laughing at the fart joke, but
no, I'm just saying, like, on some things, what we would consider to be the far left position is actually like the
fart
obvious
left,
the fart left position.
So stupid, but yeah.
No, it's actually admirable.
Yeah, you're right.
But on other issues, like, the public is far more in the other direction, and we often report it otherwise. So
yeah,
like, in other words, what we would call the centrist position on universal health care or gun control is actually like a tiny minoritarian position of a few influential donors. But like on issues like defund the police, right, it's the other way around. So
right.
But okay, so what else happened yesterday that we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about
Spunt it? Sorry,
Spunt it. Spunt actually does feel like it does sound like a
scatological term.
Yeah, it's like sharding. What would spunting be?
Yeah, what would spunting be? I'm afraid we may not have asked. We may regret asking that, but yeah.
How about a spunt is an audible fart that nobody hears?
Like a fail. That's like a fail. You mean because you're around a deaf person?
No, well, no, just because you're lucky. In other words, like you rip one, but there's like a noise at
Background
the moment.
Noise. I see.
Right,
okay, right.
Or for whatever reason,
right.
You take a step forward, it drops out, but like, I don't know, somebody starts their car at that moment.
Right.
That's a spunt.
Yeah. Farting for sport. That's a spunt. I like that. Yeah. A shart with no sound. Someone else suggested. Yeah.
A shart with no sound. Isn't a shart more likely to have no sound?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it could have sound. Oh my God, you are still on farts. We're always on farts. It's just the default.
Debbie Downer comment.
I know. What? And then someone says, please drop it. Please drop the fart. You really want us to drop a fart right now?
All right, let's be media professionals.
A fart dense enough to kick? That's funny. Come on.
All right, should we talk about Jonathan Karl?
Yeah.
All right, so what happens with Jonathan Karl?
Sorry. So let's go to Face the Nation. We're going to watch Jonathan Karl try to put Bernie in a corner.
Now, Senator Manchin's the other senator in the middle of this. He's been consistent. We actually had him on this program back in July, and let me play you what he said about his top line number back then. But what's your bottom line? The question is, this is over $1 trillion.
The bottom line.
Bernie Sanders wants $6 more trillion. Here's what are you? How far are you willing to go?
I want to make sure we pay for it. I do not want to add more debt on. So if that's $1 trillion or $1.5 or $2 trillion, whatever that comes out to be over a 10-year period, that's what I would be voting for.
So, I mean, basic math tells me if you have Sinema and you have Manchin, both unwilling to go above that.
If you just listen, Jonathan,
Bernie's
if you
so
just listen to
sexist.
what Manchin said, he said he wants it to be paid for. He's right. I want it to be paid for. And in fact, that is exactly what we are going to do. And if it's $3.5 trillion, we can pay for it because, as everybody knows, you got some of the wealthiest people in this country who in a given year don't pay a penny in federal income tax. Large corporations don't pay a nickel in federal income tax. So if Manchin wants to pay for it, I'm there. Let's do it.
There.
And by the way, you could pay for it at $3.5 trillion. You could pay for it at $6 trillion. We have massive income and wealth inequality in this country. We have a broken tax system.
But as you know,
we can do that.
I mean, as you know, what he's saying is the only taxes he's willing to go to would give you at most $2 trillion. We also heard.
But you see, then that's in.
That's where he is.
Joe.
And Terry
That's his
McAuliffe, who
problem.
of course is on the ballot running in Virginia, is saying that $3.5 trillion is
Note
simply
how
too
Bernie
big.
says
It's going to hurt
Virginia.
Democrats, and he thinks it might even hurt him in his own race in Virginia.
Well,
what do
Terry
you say?
McAuliffe, I wish Terry McAuliffe the best of luck. I hope he becomes the governor of Virginia again. But let him focus on Virginia issues. Some of us got to deal with the national issues. And what I am telling you, ask the American people whether or not we should have Medicare negotiating prescription drug prices. Ask them. Ask them whether or not we should expand home health care, whether we should make community colleges tuition free, whether or not we should deal with climate. And when we do all of those things, by the way, we create millions of good paying jobs. What we are fighting for is precisely what the American people want, and that's what we've got to do.
Okay, we're just about out of time. Bottom line, if Manchin and Sinema don't come up, don't do what you are suggesting, what most of the Democrats or almost all of the other Democrats want, does that mean we get nothing? No infrastructure bill?
No,
nothing?
No, at the end of the day, I am absolutely convinced we're going to have a strong infrastructure bill, and we're going to have a great consequential reconciliation bill which addresses the needs of the American people.
That's interesting.
Which part?
Well, he says consequential, and he doesn't say 3.5 trillion.
Right. Yeah. I do like the way he responded. I like what he said about McAuliffe. He's like, I wish him best of luck. I hope he becomes governor of Virginia again. But some of us have to deal with national problems.
Right.
National issues. And he should focus on Virginia.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting though. Bernie's like, and he's suddenly like a kingmaker in the Senate, which I just wouldn't have seen coming even a couple of years ago. It's, but what is this exactly? Like, again, I just can't get past the fact that the entire party was arrayed against him a year ago.
Well, do you think, do you think it's
or a year and a half ago?
I mean, is it just, there are lots of interpretations, right? One is that like these ideas are winning, they're popular, it's what people want. It's like we are living in end times, and maybe people realize that the American people need more, or else they're going to be up in arms. Maybe
I mean, yes, like that would have been the appropriate response even 5 years ago after they lost to Trump, would be to say, geez, maybe we should pass a slate of programs to get people, to make life easier for people just to live. If you're making less than an enormous sum of money and you live almost anywhere except for a couple of really nice neighborhoods and in a few big cities, like your life has gotten really, really hard, and rather than focus on that for, we've talked about this in the show, the party for 5 years has wasted its time, going after other things. So is this now that effort? Are they, is the idea that they're going to try to turn themselves into the party of kind of working middle-class America before the midterms next year? I mean, it could be. I just don't believe it,
yeah.
Because again, if you listen to so many of the candidates during the primary campaign in 2020, a lot of it started off like this, and a lot of the media coverage started off like this. Wow, the electorate's in a different place. They're all turning out to these massive speeches for Elizabeth Warren and Bernie, and look at this enthusiasm. And then all of a sudden, sort of as if by magic, at the last moment, the party went in a different direction, and we got to where we got. So I'm just skeptical. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
But wait, good job by Bernie though. Jonathan Karl, he of the quote about serious people are now saying that the lab leak. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah. You quoted him, didn't you?
Yeah,
because
this
whole him in your piece. Serious
this whole
people,
thing, serious people. So, but yeah, he didn't. It seemed like his mandate was to give Bernie shit about stuff, and it didn't really work out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I pity the fool. He definitely looked like an idiot there. I was surprised Bernie wasn't like that's his problem. He was about to say that about Manchin not being willing to raise taxes more. Manchin talking about an entitlement mentality. This guy comes from like a political dynasty. He got his job from his dad, I think. I mean, I don't know if he's worked a hard day in his life. Show us your hands, Manchin. Show us your hands. They've never touched coal, I bet. Definitely never mined. You've never done a day of mining in your life. Go into the mines and then we'll talk. Yes.
We better check that.
Yeah, you're right. Cut to a video of him. Like, it turns out he was a child miner.
Yeah, or cut to video of us a week from now saying, by the way, but yeah, no, for sure. So that happened, and then there was another interesting thing. There was sort of a Sunday morning show and Sunday morning show beef.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, let's just set this up. This is a tweet. Let's see. Do we have it? Ryan Stelter from reliable sources. Now it's unclear. See, Matt Wilson, who found this, framed this as a calling out. He thinks that Ryan. Sorry if I called him Ryan. I always call him Brian. Called out Face the Nation. I think maybe it was a shout out. Let's see what it is. But basically, Brian tweets the following clip, which we're about to watch, and says, "This seems unhelpful from a public health messaging POV point of view." Am I wrong? So, and then let's watch the clip of Margaret Brennan from Face the Nation.
For Christmas, or just too soon to tell?
Margaret, it's just too soon to tell. We've just got to concentrating on continuing to get those numbers down and not try to jump ahead by weeks or months and say what we're going to do at a particular time. Let's focus like a laser on continuing to get those cases down. And we can do it by people getting vaccinated, and also in the situation where boosters are appropriate to get people boosted, because we know that they can help greatly in diminishing infection and diminishing advanced disease, the kinds of data that are now accumulating in real time.
Laser. That's like my favorite part of it. Anyway.
Laser focus. Sounds like Tom Brady there. So,
who's from where? Boston?
No. Tom Brady always talks about laser focus.
Oh, got
laser
it.
Focus. Like a laser focus.
Where is he from, Brady?
He's from San Bernardino in California.
Oh, so he doesn't have an accent like that. It's just the content. I got it. Yeah. So what do you think? What was that? Was that like a fist bump from Brian, like upping Face the Nation, or was he mad at Fauci or at Face the Nation?
At Margaret, I think.
Because she should have said what?
So I think he's trying to say that she's fear mongering by saying we're not going to have a well, no, actually it's the other way around. It's criticizing her for suggesting that maybe we should have a Christmas or something. I think that's what he's saying. Right?
Brian, let us know.
Yeah.
Brian, we know you're watching because you're in our thumbnail.
Well, so what could possibly be unhelpful from a public messaging standpoint here? Is it just even he blamed his fart on Margaret. my fart seems unhelpful from a public health messaging standpoint. No, right. I mean, I think he's saying that, like, asking that question suggests that we should be, we should be thinking about prioritizing having a good Christmas over doing whatever needs to be done to stop the pandemic.
Right.
Sounds like to me.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Trump said, right, that it would be done by Easter.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Why not? Well, also, hello, Margaret. I noticed you didn't ask by Hanukkah.
Do you feel left out?
I mean, I am a Christmas tree Jew, so not particularly, but I do in solidarity.
Mm-hmm. So you feel theoretically left out?
I feel theoretically marginalized.
Whoever's dealt it. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who stelt that spunt?
Yeah, who stelt it?
Yeah, I mean, usefully, it's like a breath of fresh air in a fart-filled studio apartment. That's a strong recommendation. We will take that.
Strong, yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, we got to put that on our website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the paranoia about, media figures policing other media figures for talking about about anything related to COVID or vaccines or anything else is just, it's like off the charts at this point. Everybody's a hall monitor, feels like.
Though, to be fair, in this case, he's not really calling her out for, like, not policing Fauci. He's calling her out for framing.
No, it seems to me like he's calling her out for suggesting that we should give a shit about Christmas.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's calling her out for the framing for her own question, as opposed to. So I'm just saying your comment about policing doesn't.
Right.
Okay, that's like, so you're
He's
doing
policing her.
Oh, okay, got it. Now I got what you're saying. Right, Brian is policing Marg.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Right. I thought you were saying he was. Okay, I gotcha. This is meta.
It is kind of meta.
He's calling her out for platforming the idea.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. He's for platforming Christmas concerns.
Yeah.
There was some funny replies in the tweet about that too. But I don't know. But yeah, so that happened. That was crazy.
So that happened. Hyphen Matt Taibbi dash Matt Taibbi. I also have. Well, what should we talk about?
No, you go ahead.
Well, no, I have a little announcement that is not on Sunday shows, but about a friend of show, and this should have been on the Sunday morning shows, which is about Stephen Donziger, but I can get to that after.
Okay. Yeah, let's just do this quickly. Yeah. There was something that you probably won't see in the news anywhere because it's something that only Republicans really care about, but I thought it was interesting because it's a piece of news about the Russiagate stuff that I think is interesting. Of course, I'm the only one who cares about it, so yep, here we go. So Kash Patel, he first worked for Devin Nunes, then he was in Trump's White House, and he was sort of the person who was spearheading the investigation that kind of sort of turned into the Durham investigation, like into the origins of a lot of the Russiagate stuff, whether they were phony stories, things like that. He was interviewed on Maria Bartiromo's show yesterday, and yeah, I know I can hear the eye rolling already, but he was asked by Maria if what she thought what might be forthcoming in that investigation, and this was his answer.
And yet they still pursued a FISA warrant to wiretap Trump organization members like Carter Page. Will John Durham reel in any big fish, in your view?
Yeah, and I believe so. Let me just put this in perspective. When I was running large-scale conspiracy and fraud investigations, they took me 3, 4, 5 years to prosecute. John Durham's only in his second year of the most political scandal in U.S. history. So I believe—
I'm not sure what that means, by the way, the most political
scandal. Look out for indictments against the folks like Fusion GPS and Glenn Simpson for helping perpetuate this fraud. And look out for individuals like Lisa Page and Peter Strzok. I believe they're already helping John Durham. They're cooperating with him to get the bigger fish like the Andy McCabe, who is the biggest fraudster next to James Comey. I think you're going to see these indictments start coming out on the individuals at the top. It's just going to take a few more months, but I remind your viewers.
So basically, Kash Patel, who, by the way, is a former federal prosecutor, he's asked what's forthcoming in the Durham investigation, and there's like two things in there that are interesting. One is that he says he believes that there are indictments coming for people like Glenn Simpson and maybe the company, or others from Fusion GPS, which was, remember, the firm that Hillary Clinton hired during 2016. And then he says that those two FBI agents who were having an affair, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, who everybody's fixated on because they had all these texts that were crazy during that period. He suggests that they're already cooperating with the probe. Now, I think everybody should remember that during the Russiagate period, there were a lot of stories about who we thought was cooperating with Mueller,
right?
Already, like who was already giving evidence. The walls were closing in, and like who was going to be indicted. Remember, there was John Brennan got up and said that, I think on the Ides of March, that the Trump family is going to be indicted and all this stuff. So you always have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. But this is somebody who's in a position to probably know a little more than your average person what's actually coming in that investigation. And he says his guess is that there are more indictments coming and that there are high level people cooperating. So interesting, not interesting. I think it is, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Other people care. Someone else said in the chat, we care, Matt.
Yeah.
It's not just you. You're not alone.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only. I mean, it's a dark place to be.
Is this the
beginning of the end for Russiagate? Yeah.
Are the walls closing in on Russiagate?
Yeah, are the walls closing in? It's the same thing we've asked over and over and over again. Remember that from Jimmy Dore's mashup?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
It's beginning of the end mashup. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what happened with
Stephen Donziger, who's been on the show, was sentenced to 6 months in prison by Judge Preska on Friday. And people probably remember he was held in contempt. And this is like an unprecedented in many ways. And they had to hire like a private prosecutor because the prosecutor of New York?
The Southern District of New York?
Southern District of New York, yeah. They declined the case. And so he's going to appeal it. So there's one more round, I guess, of hope. One more ray of hope. But it's kind of funny and pathetic and telling because, one of the people who Chuck Todd has on a lot, he frequently has people from Punchbowl News. And David Sirota tweeted out today, as Congress considers gutting climate change legislation, here's a morning email newsletter from Washington on the first Monday after the jailing of Chevron critic Steve Donziger. And it says Punchbowl News AM presented by Chevron. So it's just like a total, you kind of can't make this up.
Is it 6 months on all the counts? Or just on the contempt?
I'm not sure. I actually don't know.
Have to take a look.
Yeah.
Not a good. That was definitely not the useful idiots bump. So
yeah, although maybe he would have gotten So
Yeah, it
he's
would've been
he's
more.
sentenced to 6. Yeah, still on house arrest until the appeals court rules on my motion for releasing pending appeal. So yeah, he probably would have been locked up already.
Right.
Without the useful idiots bump.
Not good news. Definitely not good news.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that about Stephen. So, well, in some, like the Sunday morning shows, still very much focused on this reconciliation bill, which again tells you more about the shows than it does about anything else. Because
6 months total, apparently. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So we'll
yeah. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was 6 months total. That when I said that's it, I meant yeah. But sorry, keep going. You were doing an in sum.
No, just these shows are very focused on things that matter a lot to people in Washington. Like, in other words, like what the topic of the day is in Congress. So they will devote a lot of time to things like the reconciliation bill, which do matter a lot, but it's not like the only news that happens in the country. So they're still there, talking a lot about that. And I imagine now that it's been shelved, they may move a little bit towards something next week, but something else next week, but we'll see.
Yeah,
so,
we'll see.
So we'll see you again later at the end of this week. And until
Make
then,
sure you subscribe to us at usefulidiots.substack.com. Subscribe here, youtube.com/usefulidiots. Rate and review our podcast, and check out our Stephen Donziger episode too.
Absolutely. All right. See you then.
See you. I'm about to sneeze.